Heyo, it's OmniDog, and how's it going out there? You'll notice it's just OmniDog. OmniDog made a mistake, and his co-host thought that it was April 24th, next weekend, that we were going to do Spider-Man. So I'm going to change the title of this after the episode, and instead we're going to do a live review of the books I read this week. I did read Amazing Spider-Man by JMS. However, I neglected to tell my co-host to do it for tonight, so we're doing it next week. Let me see if Taylor. I think Taylor Brown might be. I think Taylor Brown might be wiped out. So I'll just do a live. I'll do a live review. Is that okay with the 13 people that are in the audience? I'll do a live review of the books I had, and I'll change everything. And then next week we'll be doing JMS Volume 1. This week we're doing a live review of Strange Academy, Green Lantern Planet of the Apes, all 3 volumes of Avengers Academy, and Dr. Doom. So, Lloyd Wong, it's a good question. Yeah, we're going to have to reset our clocks. Next week is going to be Kristen and Omnicat, and then that means 30 days, half September, April, June. Okay, May 1st will be back to Batter Days. Right. This, I'd like to blame it on the vaccine, because I just got the second vaccine yesterday, and I went to sleep for 16 hours. That was the only side effect. But Kristen just sent me the texts, and it says, JMS Spidey, I assume you mean the 24th. Yeah, so it's my mistake. Whatever, it's cool. You guys are cool with it, right? Let's start with Strange Academy by Scotty Young and Humberto Ramos. This book is great, and it's hard to find, so I will put a link. It's not hard to find. It's not out of print. I mean, I got a copy from Amazon, but it's hard to search for on Amazon. And you know what? Let me finish reviewing this book, and then I'll change the name of the episode, maybe. Yeah, that Bill Gates chip in the vaccine made me sleepy. Exactly. I'm just going to review these books, and whoever shows up can, expecting Spider-Man, I'll explain throughout the episode that I messed up, and we're doing it next week. So first of all, the idea is, in the heart of New Orleans, there's a hidden magic academy run by Dr. Strange. I don't want to show certain things because, yeah, I can show this because the art is fantastic. And it'd be sharper if I was doing this review on my phone, because StreamYard isn't as sharp as my phone images that I usually do a review on. But I don't want, I think, a fun reveal in here. The young students that come to the academy, they all have magic in them. They study under Brother Voodoo, the Ancient One, Scarlet Witch, magic, Damon Hellstrom, Man-Thing. They're all teachers at this school, and these are some of the pics of the artwork. And it's not out of print, but it is sort of hard to find on Amazon. I tried several different ways to find it. I'll put the link in the description when I do find it again. This was originally marketed, I believe, to Scholastic books. So it's digest sized, sort of, compared to Avengers collection, if you can see that. It's a little smaller. The story is so great. It's funny, scary, adventurous. There are misfits even among the, well, let's see, I don't want to show you that because that would give away something. This won't give away anything. This is more of the art. Humberto Ramos's art is fantastic. And Scotty Young's writing is excellent. It, as I said, it's adventurous, it's fun, it's funny, it's scary, high drama, humor. You'll find out, like right on the back page, back cover, who I don't want you to see, because I think it's a fun reveal. But the person that comes to the main character's door, I believe, is it Zelma? Let's see. I always think it's Zelda, but then I think it's Zelma. Okay, come on. Here we go. I wasn't 100% prepared for this. Zelma Stanton, right. Like, here's the beginning where Zelma introduces her to this child in the US who has magic potential, and gets her parents to agree to send her to the Strange Academy so she can develop her powers better. Yeah, Saz Murph, I'd say it is like Marvel's version of Hogwarts. Only, yeah, the teachers are, when I think about some of the fun teachers in Hogwarts, there's no Slytherin teachers, though. They're all trying to get the kids to use magic to good effect and to get them to realize that every time you use magic, there is a cost. So there is that. Thank you, Spoonful of Brody. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. Thank you. Clickbait title. Yeah, sorry, James. But it's a live review, so that's fun too. There is volume 2 in, here's some of the covers. There's volume 2 that's coming because this ends on a cliffhanger, of course. And you're going, once you read volume 1, you are going to want volume 2 because this book is really good. It's a very quick read, but it's a very fun read. 5 out of 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 12 out of 12, whatever. I'll show you her picture because the other one reveals somebody. If Dr. Doom taught and it was the Slytherin version, maybe Dr. Doom appears in volume 2. I don't know. Charlie, I don't know. I made a mistake, and the real Spider-Man video is next week, so I'm doing reviews. That is a good question, though, and I think the reprint, Marvel is doing a really good job of reprints. So I'm guessing the reprint for JMS Volume 1, if it's not by the end of this year, I bet it's by the first quarter next year. That's just my guess. Honestly, I don't have any inside information on that. It's based strictly on the fact that Marvel is keeping these things, doing a much better job keeping these things in keeping these things in print. Sorry, dude. It's just a guesstimate on my part. But I bet this thing comes out between now and next quarter, first quarter next year. That's my guess. So, Strange Academy, 100%, go get it, no matter how you have to. I'm thinking about getting the digital copies so I can continue reading it. But I think we all know that I won't make that effort I have so much to read anyway, so that I'll probably. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. So I will. I don't know. Maybe I should check out the digital copies because I really, really like this book a lot. Another book I read all winners this week. This is the comic book, the CBLDF, the Comic Book Defense Fund book, Green Lantern and Planet of the Apes. I'll put a link for this book in that will take you to, this is by Boom Studios. If you want this particular cover, I think I paid pretty much full price just because I really wanted the cover. This is a hardback, and this is just a really cool cover. To get into this book, you're going to need to. Okay, wait. This is going to have to. Yes, I made a mistake, Chat Omnidog, and the Spider-Man video is actually next week. So I'm doing a live review of the books I read this week instead, because I made a big mistake. I got the second vaccine and I fell asleep for 16 hours and goofed up. Anyway, to understand this book, you're going to have seen the very first Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. And if you haven't seen that movie, you should see that movie because it's really great. The second movie's pretty good. And 3 through 5, while I will admit having sat through them all in a marathon when I was 12 or 14, are nothing to write home about. They're pretty bad. But the first Planet of the Apes is great. And the idea is that the Guardians have accidentally created a ring, or through subterfuge, I think, one of the Guardians, through subterfuge, created the universal ring. And it is so powerful and so deadly. It was alive, actually. It's a sentient ring. The Guardians were so worried about it, they shot it off into a different dimension. Just get out of here. And of course, it lands on the Planet of the Apes, where Cornelius discovers it. And Cornelius puts it on. And Cornelius becomes a Green Lantern. I don't want to go too far into this because that'll spoil it. You, as I said, you do need to know Planet of the Apes, and you do you have to know enough about Green Lantern and the spectrum of emotions that the rings have to get this book. It seems like a ridiculous mashup rather. It totally works, and it is great because who's the one that wants it the most? Sinestro. And this is one of the cool things. Cornelius wears it. As you can see, he's in green here in this panel, but as he uses the ring in a different manner, he turns yellow, the color of fear. And this book is really remarkable. The art's a little wonky sometimes. Sometimes it's really good. And then on the next page, it's kind of chonky, but for the most part, see here you can see he's now the Red Lantern. So Cornelius goes through various changes here as he uses that ring. And that's probably all I should tell you because then the rest would be spoiled. But I'll put a link in the description where you can get this on Amazon and where you can get it. This is the special hardback from Comic Book Defense Fund. It's from Boom and DC, but it's from Boom Studios. They're the ones that published it. So that means you need to hop on it quick before they run out of copies. How many Green Lantern stories start with, well, the Guardians did something terrible a long time ago? Yes, they did. Hey, Joe, how's it going, dude? Omnicat, I gave her the wrong information, and that's next week for Spider-Man, so I'm doing a live review. I didn't see that version. Does it have the same ending as the original Planet of the Apes? I think you're best off just seeing the original Planet of the Apes to get you ready for this book, because that's what it's based on. Unless I didn't see the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, but I did see the Charlton Heston one, and that's the one this is based off of. So this book is great. Don't want to talk about it anymore because that'll spoil how much fun it is. I highly recommend it. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, well, that's one reason why I didn't see it. You can't remember, you only saw it once. Yeah, just avoid the Mark Wahlberg one then and go with the original one with Charlton Heston. I'm not saying Charlton Heston's a great actor or anything. I'm just saying, I am saying that the ending, when I was a wee lad of 10 or 12, when I saw the original in the movie theaters, the internet hadn't spoiled the ending for me. So it was a real shock and surprise, and it was great. So you may already know the ending now, but that was great. Just in the same way that Luke Skywalker finds out who his father was in Empire Strikes Back, it never got spoiled. So the ending was awesome to me. Super Squad D checking in. On my way to pick up hibachi. Shocker. Tyler loves hibachi for the family for dinner. Wanted to say hi and good luck with this boo. The boo. Okay. Thank you. Oh, the Simpsons spoiled that ending repeatedly. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Aiku. I spoiled that for you for Empire. Yeah, the original's really fun. Watch it for the story, and the Roddy McDowell's in it, and the makeup effects were great for back then in 1970 or whatever it was, 1960. I can't even remember what year it was, but it's really worth watching. I want to see if Scarecrow of Romney Marsh is on Disney Plus, because that was my favorite Disney movie as a kid, and that's so obscure. I have the comic books. I have the little 45 record of Scarecrow of Romney Marsh, and I still play it to this day. 1968. Okay, so I was 9 when it came out. So, hey, Aiku, while you're checking, can you see if Scarecrow of Romney Marsh is on Disney Plus, please? Thank you. We'll give Aiku his answer right here. Scarecrow of Romney Marsh is the British film, Romney, Scarecrow of Romney Marsh. Because that was such a great movie. And oh yeah, that's right. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Yeah, that was a great episode. You're right, Mr. Awesome. Let's see. Then I can do a review. Oh, you didn't see it, but the European offering is different from the USA. Oh, okay. I'll check Disney Plus after I do that. Or some listener or viewer, some viewer out there. Next Imaginaut. And no, it isn't yet. Ah, okay. I meant good luck talking about the book. Yikes. Also, some mail heading your way. So you say. But Omnicat's not here tonight because I goofed up, Super Squad, and we're doing a live review instead of some books. And we're going to be talking about Amazing Spider-Man next week. And I have to tell Taylor Brown about that because he thinks he's doing Batter Days in the Batcave next week. It's in the vault. I thank you for looking. It's Zach Empire. I appreciate that. I I really want to see that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. Tyler, they're talking to you. Super Squad D. Super Squad D's menace knows no limits. Well said, Next Imaginaut. Yeah, everybody in the chat's already wanting you to free the hostages. Listen to this. He had the gall to send me a PayPal invoice for the figures, including shipping, and I haven't even got the figures yet. He could be sending me an empty box. Supposedly, Mr. Awesome, the hostages have been released, the action figure hostages, just in case the FBI and CIA are listening. There are no real hostages. These are action figure hostages. Yeah, you're a little angel, aren't you, Super Squad D? I don't have the box, but he did send me a bill just to get confirmation on live. Do you or do you not have G. Willow Wilson's Wonder Woman? This was a controversy, I believe, on the last Batter Days on the Batcave, which was last Saturday, which Hayden found me showing my G. Willow Wilson's Wonder Women books. Yes, I was looking at my Wonder Woman shelf, and they were right there. I just never clued into them. As soon as I clicked the show off, I went in there, and there they were. So, they were there, and I just didn't see them. But I appreciate your effort to not embarrass me, but show me that I probably have too many books for my own good. I know it was done in fun, so so cancel the warrant for Tyler. Inanimate hostages, nonetheless. You should count the days of the hostage crisis like Nightline back in the day. Haha, wow, the amount of shade here. Surely you aren't still upset, however many. That was done under protest, that hashtag, you spud. So as soon as I get the figures here, I am totally taking that back, and Harley Quinn has 2 N's in it. So you got confirmation that I own the Wonder Woman books. Yes. That is definitely true. I have them, and they still have the shrink wrap on them, of course. But then Peter M texted me, who must have seen the video or maybe my Instagram post, and told me that it's actually really good and that I should read them and all the follow-ups. So I will, I guess I will be ordering that too, so I can read them as a series. Yeah, I was doing that too, Goodreads. I do that now, but I didn't do it back then. And I mean, I thought they would just be on my Wonder Woman shelf, and they were. I just didn't see them. So, Tyler, my Harley opinion is the only Harley opinion that matters to Jess other than his own, and I never commented that. So who's the real loser here? Loser. How about this next week when we talk about Spider-Man? Ask Tyler Blunt to join you in Omnicat. What can go wrong? Let's see. We have some more comments. Got my Marvel Legends Gwen today. Finally shipped after my Retro Spidey was canceled by the manufacturer. That stinks. The Marvel Legends Gwen is awesome. I have things to say about JMS's book about that, but I'm going to save it for next week. But I do love the action figure of Gwen. She's awesome. And why don't you just come? I called to see if you wanted to come in, Tyler, but oh, you're getting hibachi. Next Imaginaut. The only reason why the feds haven't come down on him yet is because the case is now in Interpol's hands. Super Squad D got too cocky this time. The House of Cards is coming down this time. Ooh. I think Omnicat gets her own show next week. So those guys get their own shows separately. So I think I'm just going to keep everybody separate. Otherwise, the $10,000 an episode I get from YouTube has to be split amongst too many other people. So I'd rather just keep it, to me tonight. So the 10,000 can just go to me. If I wasn't currently in Ollie's waiting for my food to be cooked, I would have joined in. Well, I highly doubt you're in Ollie's. I think what you're doing is playing with my toys, my action figures. That's what I think you're doing. The next books that I will review live here, because I gave Omnicat the wrong information about the review, is I'll keep Dr. Doom to the end because these books are great. Avengers Academy 3 came out recently. I got it so I could read all of this, and I read all of this week. I think I talked about it on Omnibros, and I believe this is part of a series. Starts with Avengers Initiative, then goes to this, then going to other Avengers youth things. This is the only one I've read so far. I haven't read Young Avengers. I haven't read the Children's Crusade or Young Avengers that goes together by, I can see it right here. Young Avengers by, I got them both signed when I ordered them from the same guy in the Facebook group that I'm actually not a part of anymore. What the heck is this guy's name? Heinberg. Right. I haven't read this yet. Okay. Aiku has the order that this goes in. Initiative, Academy, I have Arena, and I have Undercover. Okay. I should, I'll take a picture of this so I know what to read. Okay, good. Now I know the order to read them in. Thank you, Aiku. I appreciate that. So yeah, this is Academy, but you don't have to read Initiative first. I read this and it was fine. This is volume 1. This is all by Christos Gage, who is, I think, very underrated as a writer. Because I've liked everything I've ever read by him. So far, I've only read superhero stuff by him. I don't know if he's written anything independent, like on Boom or Image or anything. But his Marvel stuff, I really like all of it. And this is no exception. This is 3 complete collections of really solid material. I'm not going to, there's a great twist that happens in the very first book that I'm not going to spoil. The art is good throughout, but there is a great twist that happens in the very beginning that makes it really, really interesting. And these are kids that the Avengers have taken in who have abilities to make them into, to qualify them as young Avengers, the Avengers of the future, if you will. They have all sorts of different powers. And for 3 complete collections, you've got to have a lot of interesting adventures and backstories. And these characters do. And the way these characters interact with each other seems very normal and well written because they don't get along together well at all in the beginning, or throughout the book necessarily, throughout the books. But this is 3 complete collections of really solid material. You do get some big event. Oh, wait, I don't want to show this. Let's see, I guess I can show this. Iron Fist shows up to be an instructor. Hawkeye shows up to be an instructor. So they do get other superheroes. I'm not going to tell you how the kids got their powers because I think that's fun to find out. And I'm not going to tell you the twist. I will tell you that all 3 complete collections are excellent and well worth your reading. 1, 2, and 3. I had no prior knowledge of any of the characters other than the main superhero guys. I didn't know these young guys at all. And I had a blast reading these books. These things were way fun. So this was just really fun superhero comics. So if you dig superheroes, if you dig Marvel superheroes, if you dig the Avengers, you definitely need to read it. Avengers are not necessarily my favorite superhero group. I can think I'm more interested in maybe the X-Men and the Justice League more than the Avengers. Avengers has never really turned me on that much. But these books are really good and really solid. So I need to read more Christos Gage. And here is a good question. Aiku, isn't Gillen Young Avengers in there somewhere? And Aiku says, probably taking place around that time, I guess, but not part of that sequence order, if I'm correct. So there's your answer. Oh, Kristen's watching. Well, I'm obligated to tell you on Kristen's behalf that if you get into Buffy, she wants you to. Christos Gage wrote some great stuff for the continuation comics, and the comic slayer herself says Hayden speaks the truth. So definitely lean into getting these. I will put a link in there so you guys can find them in the description, and I would get them. And Tolga's here. Hey, Tolga. We're actually not talking about Spider-Man. That's next week. I made a big mistake. And so we're doing a live review of the books I read this week, which I was due to make a book review anyway. So it works out. For me, not for my viewers, but for me, it works out. And here's a weekend geekdom. My buddy Gio saying that Planet of the Apes book is on sale digitally for $2 on Amazon. I will put that in the link too. So if you want to read it digitally, you can. Thank you, dude. And also his writing on that, this would be the Buffy books, is paired with some gorgeous art from Rebecca Isaacs. Okay. That's a rabbit hole I haven't. I'm so sorry, Kristen. She even sent me the text that I just flaked. So I have to apologize to Taylor too. So I flaked in a big way. Let's see. Oh, Ollie's has toys now. I'm getting a text from T-Bone, also known as Tyler Blunt, also known as the hostage taker. Ollie's has Transformers and Star Wars now figures, and Superman for All Seasons Deluxe for $6. And he sent proof of life for Ollie's, but who knows? He could buy these figures and then take them apart and send them to me and say, here are your figures. Okay, so the last book I will review, and then I can take I will put that in the description. I will be happy to put that into the description for you, Comic Slayer. Where to get it? You have to get it from the link that Nate Burkholz sent me. I just clicked on the link and I ordered it. I'll put the link in the description though, and you can go there. I don't think Amazon carries this. This came direct from, I'm going to have to go back in my chat with Nate to find the link, and I will post it in the description. So 2 shows next week, Spider-Man and Superman? No, well, I mean, I guess I could. Taylor's going to be out of town anyway for the Saturday, so he probably doesn't care, really. We were going to just pre-record it. But I think that a live show is more fun for Superman and Taylor anyway, because Taylor and I like to go on tangents with the audience and stuff. I think I have some of those Stormwatch PDHDs. I think I might have some of those. If Christos Gage did them, I'm sending them off. They're in the other room. I'm sending them off to be bound sometime. But that's cool if he did those. Then I'm even happier. The 2 thin trades that comprise Volume 3 of Academy are still available, I think. Okay, so I'll put those options in too if you're not a fan of complete collections. The complete collection for 3 just came out, though, so there shouldn't be any problem. I don't think there's any problem finding any of these. I'll let you know in the description. Excellent. Yes, it is great. The John Superman is great. John Superman run is great. Good, Joe Goose. You'll be prompted and primed and ready for that show whenever it happens. I'm making no promises now since I'm obviously losing my mind. So I will review next Dr. Doom. And then I will answer questions if anybody has any questions for me before I wrap this up, because this is kind of a long review, but a short show for a Omnicat and Omnidog. The first one's called Pottersville, and the second one's called Bedford Falls. And for some reason, this is reminding me of that Jimmy Stewart movie, that Christmas movie that I see every year, and I'm blocking on the title. What Would I Happen If I Were Dead? No, that's not the name of it. It's a Wonderful Life. There it is. For some reason, Bedford Falls and Pottersville remind me of that, because I think it's Mr. Potter that he owes money to, and Bedford Falls is this town they live in. So Dr. Doom, first of all, has wonderful art, which I will show you. By Salvatore La Rocca, I believe. Salvador, I apologize. Salvador La Rocca. Here I was trying to get all fancy with my accent, and I mispronounced his name, so that'll teach me. It starts out amazingly and really interestingly. Let me see if I can sum it up. There's a project on the moon there's a project on the moon that goes bad, and Dr. Doom gets blamed for it, and it results in a black hole. He was the one that warned everybody about the failure of the black hole. So he has to, he's blamed for an event that kills thousands of people, and Latveria is about to be invaded by whatever country is right on its border. Death to dictators Varia, or whatever it is. The border of Fredonia. No, it was anyhow. Things go wrong. Doom is called. That's a lot. Okay, wait. I want to make sure I know who invades him. Mission. Simkarian, the Simkarian border. Okay. Hey, Kenny. How's it going? Next week is the OmniCat review. I made a mistake, and so I'm reviewing books that I read this week. I have a question. How do you feel about the Transformers Masterpiece minivan? I'm not a fan of minivans, Tyler, and neither should you. So cut it out. Okay, so there's a big border war about to happen. Dr. Doom's brought in by the authorities because they think he created the catastrophe on the moon that killed thousands. He's hauled before all these guys. Silver Sable, Simkarian mercenary, head of the Wild Pack. So it's Simkaria that's about to invade them. He finds an ally in this gentleman. I read this, Dr. Bashir. I read this so long ago. I read it like 3 weeks ago. Anyway, he finds an ally who helps him because, of course, he has to escape and set things right. The interesting part about this book is it causes him to see into a different dimension and see a version of himself that could be. It's a version of himself that has his face healed, a life is perfect on Earth, and it makes him question all of his acts that he has done on Earth. So it's two parts. He's trying to, well, it's three parts. He gets blamed for a disaster that wasn't his making, and he's trying to correct it. So that's two of the parts. He sees into what could be and what he could be, and has this decision to make about his own self. He has to clear his name, and he gets some allies along the way. Jimmy Owens, super chat, right on, man. Thanks, I appreciate that. The Spider-Man review will be next week. For those of you just tuning in, I made a mistake, and Kristen and I'll be on next week. Super Squad D, what's for supper? Asking the important questions, Mr. Awesome is. I agree with that. Hibachi chicken with fried rice. I don't know why we're being nice to Tyler when I don't have his books yet. Any book with Silver Sable is a win. Well, you'll like this book because Silver Sable is in it a lot because Symkaria is invading Latveria as we speak. Oh, and another cool thing, Kang shows up a lot in this book, which complicates, it doesn't complicate it, it adds an extra, he keeps showing up in it, and it makes it, it adds an extra angle to it that's really interesting, a time traveling angle that I found really cool. Dr. Adam Brashear is also known as the Blue Marvel living antimatter reactor. You can tell I've never been exposed to him before. And that's Dr. Doom on a bear as he's trying to clear his name. So this is really cool. I dug it. Dr. Ock tries to go to the moon to seal the breach that happened on the moon when Reed Richards kept going and didn't listen to Dr. Doom's objections, and the accident happened. And anything more than that is going to spoil it. But there's like 4 or 5 different things going on in these 2 books that are really cool, and that it's a complete story, just the 2 books, and it is amazing, Kenny. The artwork is really, really amazing. I don't want to get too far forward in this. This is book 2, so I don't want to show too much because I don't want to spoil anything. But the artwork is really tremendous. I should probably stick to book 1 with its artwork because I don't want to give anything away. I've probably already said too much. I've been accused of spoiling stories, so I don't want to spoil this. But this is also worth it because there's so many interesting things going on in it, but they all come to a good, all the strings out there are brought together in a nice tight binding at the end. And I'll leave you to read this and judge for yourself what you think of the ending, because the ending actually was different than the ending I thought it would be. And that is my review of books I read this week, because I forgot that Kristen wasn't part of this and I did a solo show. So if there are any questions, we can I can answer them now. I know an Omnibro who spoils all the time, and his name isn't Jess. Really? You are fine. Ha ha ha. I wonder who the Omnibro is that spoils all the time. Do you think it's a better written Doom than Hickman's Doom? I don't like to say anything's better than Hickman. Hickman wrote a really interesting Dr. Doom. No, I don't. This is just a different take on Dr. Doom. I wouldn't say anything's better or less better. Those are 2 different looks at Dr. Doom. Although I did get my first exposure to the ultimate nullifier in this book. I wondered, that's my old knees hurting. I wondered what the little doohickey was right up here. And now I know. It's the ultimate nullifier. And that's what shows up in this book. And it's cool. Let's see. Are there any other Planet of the Apes comics in HC? That's a good question. I actually don't know. That's the first Planet of the Apes comic I've ever read. So I actually don't know. I can research it for you and find out. If I find anything, I'll put it in the links down below. This is the only Planet of the Apes book I've ever read. I've been diving back into Batman. Got Tales of the Demon Trilogy, Steve Englehart Batman, and Batgirl New 52 Omnibus. Very nice. What's a good starting point for Doom character? Moni asks. Doom, for the Doom character. I've read a lot of Doom, and of course I know him mostly because of my Silver Age Fantastic Four reading. It's I grew up with that, so I love it, but I'm not sure that everybody else would love it. Books of Doom is out of print, so that's not a good book. I don't know that this might be a good place to start, because as long as you know, you could actually, I think, you could start with this because it deals with the rivalry between Dr. Doom and Reed Richards. It deals with his being in charge of Latveria, and he also has to deal with an uprising in Latveria. It deals with the tensions in Simcaria. I think, I didn't even know what the ultimate nullifier was, as I just said. And here you would find out exactly what it is, and you get a good exposure to Kang in here, and you get which is a really cool part, because he keeps popping in and out various times, and he's trying to clear his name. I think you can start out with these books and you'd be okay getting a good taste of Dr. Doom. If you want to get like his origin, you could get Silver Age Fantastic Four in Masterworks, or I think if the Omni Fantastic Four #1 omnibus is out of print, I think it's getting reprinted, but for some reason I feel like it's in print. But if it's out of print, it's getting reprinted really soon. Man 40 says Silver Age FF for Doom classic. I see a Doom omnibus at some point, just like the Loki omnibus. Okay. Jake wants a Doom 2099 Omni. I really want a Spider-Man 2099 book Omni. Definitely enough Spidey for an Omni. I was watching Tyler's Omni collection, and I almost thought I was in your room seeing all the unopened Omnis. I was like, where am I, and why is Tyler in your room? I open them. I take the cellophane off when I read them. That's just my position. Everybody is different. Let's see. Did you pick up the Batgirl by Simone Omni? I did. I'm reading that and really enjoying it. That is a good coincidence. I happen to like that book. I think it starts out really strong. Maybe it peters out a little bit towards the end, but the majority of it is really good. That was one of the better New 52 books, I think. Jess, do you have the Star Trek Green Lantern books? I don't. I have the first, and it's really fun. I I think I saw those on Amazon when I was researching this book for when I did my review. Okay, if it's really fun, I'll read it. I have to do a Giant Days readathon with Kristen for a future video. I read Giant Days first two trades when they came out, and I can't even remember their names. I know you're horrified, Kristen. I apologize, but I need to reread them all. I remember liking it a lot, enough to get all the trades, which I have, and I fully intend to read them with Kristen, and we'll do a show on them, and we'll do them on the right day. Here's a good question, because I don't know the answer to this. Has Doom been prominent in recent slot Fantastic Four? I haven't read that yet, so I don't know. Let's see. Jess, your favorite pre-crisis Supergirl stories from the Bronze Age? Oh my gosh. I'd have to go up and look at my Supergirl shelf. Pre-Supergirl. I mean, pre-crisis Supergirl. To be fair, I think I like the Silver Age Supergirl. Bronze Age Supergirl was okay. I remember her mostly because they kept trying her out for different outfits. She seemed sort of like a character they didn't know what to do with, and they just wanted to keep giving her new uniforms. So, well, the Bronze Age, I don't. I'll be honest. I think I only like the modern stuff and the Silver Age stuff. I don't think I have a favorite Supergirl from the Bronze Age. Right around that time is when I stopped reading comics, so not fully grounded in that. And I know how much of a Supergirl fan you are, so I'm sorry. I apologize. But let's see. Doom has been in slot FF. Trigonosis, you're awesome. Thank you. Upcoming teasers for slot FF include Doom. Okay. Hello, Gabriel. Hello, Jess. Do you think we will get a new release of Batman Omnibus by Snyder? I believe the Reaper. Wait a sec. Book 2 just got announced. I don't know if it's been. I don't know if Book 1 is out of print. Is Book 1 out of print? Let's see on Amazon. Batman Omnibus Volume 1. Let's see. Not the Golden Age. Oh, Batman by Snyder Volume 1 is still in print on Amazon, but it's $106. So that means it's running out of print. If you want Batman #1 Omnibus by Scott Snyder, Amazon prices are a good way to figure it out, and that means you need to get it now if you want to get it. But also, Volume 2 is coming out later this year, I think. And there's Trigonosis with later this year. And I just answered, it's Roop. It's Aoop. It's almost out of print. Oh, this is actually good. Bronze Age Supergirl. Yeah, Carmine Infantino did the art on her final pre-crisis run. Yeah, the red. That's a good pull, Mr. Awesome. Infantino did do that art. That I probably did like that, but I don't remember the stories well enough to comment on them. But I do remember that red headband now. Elvis, I did read Tintin as a young lad. He and Snowy, I remember. I also read a lot of Asterisks and his dog Dogmatics. I remember liking Tintin a lot, but I haven't read him in years. But I do like Tintin. I just haven't read him in years. And I just got a message about Star Trek books. Did some checking. This is from Aiku. Did some checking on Star Trek Green Lantern. Volume 2 is on IST. Volume 1 isn't, but it's on Amazon from a reseller. Possibly you can check it on Hoopla or something else as well. For those of you who are interested in Star Trek / Green Lantern, it sounds like Volume 1 might be out of print, but you can always get it probably cheap from a reseller. Yeah, Asterix is, I love Asterix. I will be putting those up, Trigonosis. I appreciate the support. I'll be putting those up. They're really hard to edit, so that's the only thing that's keeping me from it. Plus the music on it. I don't get copyright strikes, but I get copyright notices from YouTube because the intro music was generic at the time, but apparently that collection of generic music has been purchased by somebody. And even though I demonetize the videos, I always get a hit from YouTube, and they say it's not a copyright claim, but I don't know. I don't want to mess with YouTube too much. They're not strikes. You only get 3 strikes, and then they shut you down. Nate Quintero. Yeah, I should have him overdub it. Unfortunately, I had just had another one that I got a copyright, not copyright hit, but copyright claim, was the Records one where we played a lot of Elvis, and somebody jammed us up for the Elvis. But it's not bad. Jesse, trying to use my newfound love of Trek to get me to read those pesky lanterns. I haven't even read them yet, so don't pin that on me. But I'm totally going to order them and get them now because I don't have enough to read, obviously. I don't have any format of Walking Dead and Man 40. I have never read it, and I actually don't plan on reading it. Nothing against anybody that likes Walking Dead. I just have heard that only 1 through 50 are the really good stories, and I saw a couple seasons of the show, and I don't know, it just wasn't really for me that much. I don't think I'm that interested in Walking Dead. I wish I was, because there are lots of fans of it. But the only Kirkman that I really like is Invincible. I'm glad you got a great deal on the huge Omnis. That's awesome. No, you can't know everything. That's cool. I recently watched from Gabriel. I recently watched some of your older Batter Days where you discussed uplifting stories and decided to pick up Secret Identity and American Alien. Good, thank you. I'm glad you did. We did that I think Taylor and I did that at the beginning of the pandemic, where we were pretty flipped out, and we wanted people to feel better by reading some of our favorite books. So thank you for watching it. I'm not getting the Flashpoint Omnibus only because I had all the Flashpoint comics bound into custom binds. Otherwise, I'd probably get it. Is it fair to say that there won't ever be an Impulse Omnibus? DC just came out before I left that Facebook group, the Omnibus Collectors Community and Swap. I saw that there was DC had a big announcement of a ton of stuff I never thought would get printed. And they printed Spectre, um, which in an omnibus form, which I never thought I'd see. So I don't know that I would say there's never going to be an Impulse Omni. I think there's lots of Flash stuff they can mine there, DC, and the books they're releasing in the fall and winter. I think that I wouldn't write Impulse off at all. To be fair, N-Man, even Jess doesn't know what books he owns, so it's fine that you didn't. Fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. So ever read Batman versus Predator? I think I read the comics when they came out. I randomly picked up the 3 trades cheap secondhand. It's out of print. I think I read the trade, not the trades, but I think I read the floppies when they came out. I can't really remember much about it. Is it good? Oh yeah, you're right. It's one of my favorite stories. That Batman tie-in. That's the best story in Flashpoint, and it's one of the best Batman stories ever. It may be my favorite Batman story. So unless the chat wants to keep on poking me for not knowing what books I have. Oh, you haven't started yet. Okay. I just got a Disney. I just got a Simpsons Omni. Where did I put it? I showed it on Omni Bros last Monday. I think they're still in print on Amazon. I got it for a reasonable price. It's not a hardcover, it's a soft cover, but all the Simpsons Omnis were still available on Amazon for reasonable. See, there I'm being nice to you, even though you're being mean to me. And there's one with, Judge Dredd versus Predator versus Alien. I didn't know that. Hey, I didn't know that. That I'd like to read. No, it's taking me much longer than I thought to get through these particular Judge Dredd books. This is April. I think I'll probably be done. I'll shoot for June 1st to get that readathon. Yeah, see how nice I am to you, even though you're making fun of me in the comments, Hayden? Yeah, check out Amazon. I'll put a link for the Omnis. There's a billion of them. I'll just put a link for a couple of them in the description box that'll be under this video, and you can click on them and see if they exist. I don't know, search UK Amazon and see if they exist. Dark Horse in 2080, printed 2014 in hardcover. Okay, I'll check that out. Just what new Star Wars Black Series figures are you getting, if any? I'm not a Star Wars figure collector, but I just saw, let me see if I can find it, on Sideshow, a hot toy for Ahsoka, and it looks awesome. Let me see if I can share it. Let me take this off. Let me see if I can share screen, application window. Here we go. That's the hot toy, and she comes with all that stuff, including the forest background, and the stand is a forest, as you can see right here. She has changing eyeballs to give her a different look. And of course, the 2 lightsabers and Grogu, who's in a different pose. This is what I'm getting. I don't collect. I had to draw the line. I used to collect Star Wars figures, but I had to draw the line. I sold them all, and I pretty much just collect Marvel Legends now. But this is boss. This is way boss. And yes, I know, Hayden. I'm just teasing you back. You big stud muffin. Nope, still working on it, Mr. Awesome. Ooh, Hot Toys Bo-Katan. I bet that looks really good too. Bo-Katan was an awesome character. I might be interested in looking at her action figure. That actually might be cool. After this, I'm going to look at that hot toy. So I think that pretty much wraps it up because I've been going an hour, and I sort of baited you guys into this. I apologize for that, but I will make sure I change everything afterwards into what it's supposed to be. And I'll take a new thumbnail and everything. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody sticking around and chatting with me, and I'll put this review up. And thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you for, yes, I was a huge fan of Dick Tracy. I've got a huge book upstairs of his, and they're classic. I love classic Dick Tracy stuff. That's a good purchase, N-Man 40. And thank you, Lloyd Wong. I appreciate it. So thanks for tuning in. And next week, we'll have the proper thing up. I totally appreciate it. My Instagram, please go to omnidogs_vault. And peace and love, peace and love. Thank you very, very much. Everybody tuning in, I genuinely appreciate it.